Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Eyes Up Here. I'm your host, Lindsey Pelas. Today, I've got a really special guest in the studio, but before I get to him, we're filming this podcast, so you can check it out. We're here at the Focus TV studios, so check it out. YouTube. I'll tell you. I'll link it. Whatever. My special guest. Let's go back to him. He was really interesting character on Rob & Big. How about you just introduce yourself? I don't even know where to start. Entrepreneur.
My name's
TV
Drama.
star.
Been on reality TV for a long time. And now I podcast a lot. I run a clothing company called Young and Reckless.
Yes.
Trying to inspire young people to get out there and chase their dreams.
And not be reckless?
And be reckless.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah,
Reckless.
be crazy. Do what you want to do. Just don't get arrested.
Oh my God.
And that's me.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
So, your real name, so you go by Drama, or a lot of people
It depends.
call
I'm getting
you
older
Drama.
now. I'm
Yeah.
31. So I think like Drama, I'm kind of 50-50.
Now you're going for, you want to be called Resolution?
I would like to be called Peace and Love.
That's hot.
Pfaff.
I think Meta World Peace kind of like swag, but
Yeah. Well, I'll be creative. I'll figure that one out. But yeah, Drama, real name is Chris.
Chris, how do I say your last name?
Pfaff.
Pfaff.
First F is there for no reason.
I love that.
Yeah.
P-F-A-F-F.
Just keep you guessing.
I like your last name because it starts with a P and it's 5 letters, and so is mine. We're pretty rare.
Oh, you're right. We're so rare.
Yeah.
Yeah. P5 gang.
It's stop.
Just saying, you're in or you're out.
Oh my God.
Everyone right now is like,
They're like, do I fit in or
darn
not?
it, I have 7 letters.
Anyone with the last name Peter, you're great. But anyway, so you do so much. I knew you from Rob & Big, for sure. My boyfriend made me watch that show because people are like blowing stuff up and jumping out of things, and they're all dressing up.
Yeah. Thank you, boyfriend.
Yeah. I'm much more of a Real Housewives girl,
I
but
get it.
I really love the show.
Thank you.
Yeah. What was that like? No, I want to go. You're from Ohio, actually. We were
From
talking
Ohio,
about this. Akron, Ohio.
Yep.
What is that like?
It is. We were talking about it a little bit before we started recording. It's pretty dull.
Oh my God, how
It's
so?
small. Like, here's the thing. It's very small town. And I always say this because I just remembered it recently, and it's a perfect description of what my town is like. In my high school, when you would look out the window of our classrooms, there'd be a farm with cows. And so we'd like watch the cows all day, right? and people would literally get in trouble, like, stop watching the cows, we're trying to learn algebra here. And I remember that one of the biggest like news days of the town was that one of the cows escaped, and we were getting sort of live updates via landlines at the time of where the cow was spotted last,
Oh my God.
who was chasing it, and finally they captured the cow, no harm. And that was a big day for Akron, Ohio.
Dude, it's not even like, that's the second Ohio story where an animal has escaped.
Yeah.
There was a story about Zanesville.
Yeah.
I remember hearing where this person had all these zoo animals and they escaped, and then it was like mass zoo terror in
Yeah.
Zanesville.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of it? The Zanesville Massacre or something?
Zanesville Massacre sounds so terrible.
I'm pretty sure that's what it says on Google.
Who got massacred?
The animals, because they had to kill the animals.
Oh, they killed them all?
And then the owner of the animals was eaten by some kind of lion, tiger, or bear.
Yeah, that certifies as a massacre.
Yeah.
It's sounding kind of familiar, but to be honest, I don't really remember that.
No.
Like, how long ago was it?
You're staring at the cows for too long.
I know. All I care about is cows. I'm more of a cow guy.
That's so cute.
Yeah.
I'm actually from a dairy farm town in Louisiana called
there
the
you go.
Ranger.
There you go. We can connect on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super country.
Yeah.
So how did you end up in LA?
I ended up in LA because at a very young age, like 10 years old, I became obsessed with skateboarding. And LA is like the skateboard capital of the universe. And so I just knew, like, my whole childhood, the moment I graduated high school, I was moving to LA just to be like in the skateboard industry, work at a skate shop, do something. It just
Yeah.
was like the dream come true.
Yeah.
Plus, I just knew like the opportunities in Ohio were kind of few and far between. So cow watching was getting boring. I felt like I had kind of peaked in my career.
Oh my God.
And so I took my talents to LA. So as soon as I graduated, I moved out here.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
But I actually read, so you were skateboarding. Can you tell me a little bit more about your skateboarding?
So what?
I was going to say career, but I'm not sure.
No career. I wasn't good enough.
Okay.
So I loved skateboarding. It's all I did from like 10 to probably 25. But I knew I wasn't good enough to be a pro skateboarder, right? So I wanted to be like a filmer. I just wanted to be in the industry. But yeah, I loved it. It was my absolute passion.
And then? See, I know the information.
Then I had an
know you had
injury.
an injury.
I had an injury.
Like a serious injury.
I had a serious injury. I hit my head skateboarding.
Oh my God.
Was in a coma for 4 days.
That's crazy.
Fractured my skull, had some brain bleeding, a blood clot in my brain from the skull fracture. And yeah.
How old were you?
18.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was right after I graduated.
Oh my God. That's when I actually got in a crazy wreck, actually, right after I graduated.
What kind of wreck?
I hit a car head on, and luckily I was fine, but I totaled it, and it was a really scary, traumatic situation.
Oh my God, that sounds like
scared me for life.
Yeah.
I don't get many people in my life that I'll ever get to ask this question. What happens when you wake up from a coma?
You know, I've heard all the stories about like how you hear everything that people are saying and stuff like that. I didn't experience that. For me, it felt like I remember waking up, eating breakfast that morning, and then I just woke up 4 days later. And the craziest thing was I was confused about why I was in the hospital or what was going on. But the weirdest part was that like my nails had gotten a little longer, and like my beard had gotten, like these weird things that you don't ever experience. And so it was just like a weird time jump. And it was strange and super scary. But I don't remember like people telling me like, it's going to be okay. It's just relax. Like, I don't remember that.
Wow. Oh my God. I would be so creeped out because my roots would grow for sure.
Yeah. You would notice it.
Yeah. This is all bleached hair. And if I woke up and my roots were darker, I'd be so pissed off.
Yeah. You'd be like, what? Nobody could bleach my hair while I was out?
Yeah. What the fuck?
Yeah.
My nails would be grown out.
It's messed up. One of the craziest thing was I woke up and I couldn't read. Like my brain wouldn't work, and I would look at words, but I couldn't read them. And then my parents were like, well, what do you want for food? We'll get you any food you want. And I wanted pizza from like Pizza Hut, and I couldn't taste it. It had no taste. Ooh. And then I got home and went to get on the computer because I loved my little computer, and I didn't know how to like I hit the Safari button to get online, and I didn't know how to use the browser. Like, it was the weirdest thing. Like, my brain had to like reboot.
That's the thing about the brain too. A lot of people, when they see an injury, they don't realize with a brain injury, you have to compute the mechanics of your body. Mm-hmm. So if a mechanic is doing something that's familiar, mm-hmm. your brain still has to process it like mm-hmm. a computer. Mm-hmm. So you may be doing everything you know how to do, but if this is malfunctioning, it's not going to register.
Yeah, it was so weird. Yeah, it was super scary. I was always worried because even when I moved to LA, they told me that because of the blood clot in my brain, I could possibly have like seizures and all these different issues. And so I was always so worried. I remember like whenever I would get like dizzy, or I would, sit up too quick and you get that dizzy feeling, I would just feel like, oh my God, here it comes. I'm going to have a seizure. And I thought like it was going to cause all these chain reactions. But it really, like, I don't know, all things considered, I don't have any side effects that I know of. I might be a little dumber than I was.
It was a pretty isolated incident.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Yeah.
I feel like some of those things you've mentioned, that's how I feel when I'm really drunk.
It's a lot like being really drunk.
Because I've been on Bourbon Street reading a street sign trying to find my way home. And
it's like having a brain injury.
Well,
you might as well have just got hit in the head with a baseball bat.
Shit.
And you're like,
and it's self-inflicted.
Where's the Four Seasons?
Yeah, no, I was on the phone with a girlfriend at a time, mm-hmm. and this was before our phones were really great at pinning your location. Yeah, I had it was before that. Yep. That was when you were in danger when you were a girl.
Real danger. Imagine no phones. I mean, imagine like I'm going out for the night, and like I hope maybe call me tomorrow back on this landline. That's when you write your address
on your wrist. Ugh. I've done that before, but if found, call.
You've done that?
I mean, have you ever been to Mardi Gras? I'm from Louisiana. Like, right. If you go out there, you got to be prepared. You have? Did you like it?
It's brutal. It's not what I expected.
Why?
I expected like the movie scene and like, it's a pretty like...
it can be scary.
Pretty rough, yeah.
But I think I went this past year, and I feel like as an adult, I know where to spend my time better, and the daytime stuff is beautiful and picturesque.
Yeah, I love
the daytime.
I love New Orleans. We just stayed in a hotel like right on Bourbon Street, and I remember just going and kind of walking around because we were filming down there, and so nobody really wanted to go like be a part of the whole Mardi Gras thing. So I remember I went and just walked around. I had a camera because I wanted to go get some pictures, and like it's just a pretty rough scene, they're
it's a little
they're really going for it.
Oh, yeah. I've seen some brutal fights.
I bet.
Yeah.
Seems very fighty there.
Oh, I've seen it's fighty.
It seems fighty on Bourbon Street.
That's what I love about LA. It's not fighty at all. People can have issues with each other, and they'll just like talk shit.
Of course.
To each other really quietly. But in like Louisiana, they'll come up to you and they'll be like, oh, do you want to go?
They might not even say that. They'll probably just punch you. That's how Ohio is. Like, Ohio, you just punch. You either like leave the club with a girl or you fight someone. That's just like
really what
that's
we
like
did
the plan. Yeah, like, oh, it's 2 a.m. Well, I guess we're fighting. Because you want to come home? No? All right. You want to fight?
Fight or the other F word.
Yeah.
I would say it, but I don't. Fight or F.
Fight or F.
That should be a hashtag.
Guys, you guys figure that one out.
Yeah. No. Oh my God. I've always said Ohio's like a sister state to Louisiana in just weirdness.
It is. Like I said, I think, and not to hate on Ohio, I love Ohio, but I think Louisiana has a lot more cultural elements. Ohio is a little like bland.
Well, I don't want to rub this in anyone's face, but the Louisiana Purchase is why we're all here today. So you can thank us anytime.
Technically, you can just thank Lindsey directly if you like.
Absolutely.
So
you can.
I'm
going to be the
say
representative
thank you for my life.
Yeah, I'm the representative of Louisiana, so you can just thank me, send all your well wishes.
There we go.
No. So you have this incredible injury, and then you decide to move to LA quickly after.
Yeah. So this is what happened. My plan was graduate high school and move to LA like instantly. Instead, I graduated high school, knocked myself out for 4 days instantly. So I had I had this blood clot.
Life comes fast.
Life, sometimes you just go this way when you want to go this way.
Yeah.
But I had to keep getting CAT scans to see if the blood clot in my brain had went away, because they didn't want me to leave until that was gone, because there could have been some complications.
Yeah, that's really nice of them.
It was very thoughtful. So here's the funny thing. By the time November came, it wasn't gone. But they were like, well, you'd probably have some problems by now. If there was going to be problems, your brain will probably recover. If you want to go, you can go. And so I just went in November.
Wow. So you probably graduated in May.
Yep.
Injury, November.
Yep.
So what'd you do when you got here?
When I got here, I just tried to figure it out. I know that's a very
that's
vague.
exactly what I say.
Yeah.
The first year, you're figuring it out. I say that all the time.
It might have taken
when I hit you, it means I really agree.
No, I like that. That's how I know I'm doing good.
Yeah.
I'm going to count the hits. I had a 12-hit interview. I just, I don't know, traffic seemed so crazy. The streets, everything was just crazy, and I wanted to be here and I was so excited, but like it was so out of my element.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just tried to figure it out.
I have to imagine, because I had those aha moments when I was in the party scene.
Mm-hmm.
So you get invited to one party and it's like, holy shit.
Oh yeah, I've had those.
Did you have those?
Of
Like,
course.
what was your first like aha moment like that?
So I've probably had a million, because my life went pretty quickly from like Ohio, like worried about cattle, to like a year later is when Rob and Big kind of premiered on MTV.
Yeah.
So instantly we're getting invited to, I went to Vegas for my 21st birthday, which to me at the time was insane.
Huge.
And I don't know. One thing that I really do remember going to the Playboy Mansion for the first time. Yeah,
that was my first party.
But I was pretty let down.
Why?
I thought it was kind of like Mardi Gras.
Because you didn't smash or fight.
Listen, I left
He was
Ohio
still doing
behind.
F for F.
I left
and
Ohio
neither
back.
happened. He didn't know what to do. He was like, oh, Ohio, F for F.
It wasn't what I expected. It was the
Okay.
same as Mardi Gras. I went there like, this is going to be sick. I've heard all about this, seen it in movies. And then you get there and it's just kind of like, oh, this is cool.
Was it for the Halloween party?
I don't remember.
That's the thing. Because if you went there for Halloween, you for sure were going to smash and you would have a great time.
But like, it's the Playboy Mansion. I just thought you step foot in there and you're just in like adult Disneyland.
It's actually a lot smaller than it seems on TV and on the show. It's like going into exactly what you see on the show, but a dollhouse version.
It's like a real backyard.
Yeah.
Like, oh, shit, this is a backyard?
Yeah.
I was hoping
loved
this would
it,
be.
though.
I like it. I don't mean to like completely hate on it, but I will say I was a little. I don't know if you've ever seen those websites that are like Instagram versus reality.
Yes.
It's kind of how I felt.
Really?
A little bit, yeah.
Wow, I was shocked.
But there was a lot of, Grammy parties and like just weird stuff that I was at that I was like, what in the hell? Like, how is this my life?
It's bizarre.
Yeah.
And seeing kind of celebrities like in their real life party element
Yep.
is the most fun thing when you just moved here, especially when you're like 18.
Yeah. Because they're real people.
And they're wild.
They live by different rules than we do, guys.
I called my dad at one point when I was at an after party and I was like, Dad, they're doing weird shit here.
Yeah.
It's some wild stuff.
100%.
It really is like a rock star lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
How did you not fall into the bad stuff? Because I feel like you hear it all the time, like someone who becomes a celebrity at such a young age.
Yeah.
18
but I'm no
young.
like Macaulay Culkin. You know what I mean? Like it was a character on a reality show. But listen, I just think that I was like, my parents did a great job. Loved them to death. I had some pretty sound morals. Mm-hmm. And I think that more so than that, to be honest, was I wanted to win so badly. Like I wanted to be successful so badly. And the idea of being able to live in LA and live a good life in LA was like beyond my wildest dreams.
Yeah.
And so every time anything really got too deep into Partyville, I just knew that that's going to just slow me down or take me away from what I really want to do. And I think that's the thing that like really kept me out of like the dark pits.
Yeah. That's pretty incredible.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. I'm impressed.
Yeah.
So you're doing Robin Big.
Yep.
Can I ask what that experience was like as a whole?
Insane.
Insane.
Right?
It
Insane
sounds
because like
insane.
here's the crazy thing. We didn't like sit like we're not like celebrities by nature. We're not actors. We're not any of that. Like they were, Rob and his bodyguard Big Black were just making funny videos for skate videos.
Yeah.
And somebody came and said, hey, this is really something special. This could be like an MTV show or something. And so we just kind of started experimenting with that for like a year. It was like a year-long process of trying to present pilots and stuff like that and them not being right and getting shut down. And then one day they finally said, okay, we'll give this one a try. And we had no idea what was going to happen, but it like exploded and became this like really this massive thing for the moment. And it felt like everyone on earth was watching Rob and Big.
They were.
And
my boyfriends were.
Yeah. And it just changed, like, I don't know, it changed our whole lives and the way that people treated us and, you know, everything. And it was insane. And then actually filming the show was great. We had a lot of fun. It was just like, imagine if you and your friends can come up with any idea, you have an MTV budget and MTV producers to figure out how to execute it, and you just can do whatever you want.
What was your favorite moment filming? Or your favorite thing you've seen
Of all
camera?
time?
Yeah.
I think one time I got shot out of a cannon.
Stop.
Like a human cannonball.
Stop.
Yeah. And I think that even though it was one of the most scary experiences of my entire life, after it was over, it was like, holy cow, like not only do I have that on video forever, but like who gets the opportunity to do that? Like that's so insane. I just survived being a human cannonball somewhere in a field in the valley, and now I get to like show it to the world.
Not even in your wildest like cow watching dreams.
Never.
I would not imagine a boy in Ohio watching cows could think that he would turn into a human cannonball.
I'm from cow herder to cannonball. That's going to be my memoir.
That's so sick.
Yeah.
That's a good hashtag too. And I
Yeah.
like F to F as well.
What's F to F?
To F or fight.
Oh, F to F.
F to
F or F.
F or F.
F or F, and cow herder to cannonball.
Cannonball. Okay, so while you were on the show, I was reading an interview you did for Forbes, actually.
Sorry to bother you.
Yeah, no big deal.
Kidding.
But they were discussing that, you know, you were on the show and they wanted to know what your content was. Like,
Yeah.
what was drama working on?
Yeah,
And so you created a streetwear line.
I did.
I actually had no idea.
Really?
Yeah, and because I've watched the show
Yeah.
just in passing with
Yeah.
the boyfriends and all that stuff, so I never really learned.
Did
the
you know
plot.
the things separately? Did you know what Young and Reckless was, or no?
Yes,
Got
I
it.
did know the
and
brand.
you knew what the show was. You didn't know
Yes.
that they were combined.
Yeah, so imagine my surprise. I was like, "Whoa, holy shit!" Because I've seen Young and Reckless in stores.
Yeah.
I grew up when PacSun was huge.
Yeah.
So I remember seeing that and that being a really
That's
popular.
amazing.
Yeah.
Let me tell you this. That's the best compliment you can possibly give me, because I came up under like reality TV land.
Mm-hmm.
But all I wanted was to have like a legit business and like be a normal, like successful human being, not like a reality guy.
Yeah.
And so I knew that like I could use the show to launch the brand, but I also knew that it was always going to be tied to the show. And I was trying to figure out how not to do that.
Oh yeah.
So that worked on you.
They
My
literally
plan
worked
worked
on me.
you.
No, I knew your brand for sure because PacSun, Hurley, that kind of streetwear mixed with surfer vibes
Yeah.
was a whole thing when
Yeah.
I grew up.
Yep.
Oh my God.
That's so cool. That's my
Yeah.
dream.
Okay, good.
Literally my dream.
So I'm basically making sure your dream came true.
You basically,
You're welcome.
in a human form, made my dream come true.
Hell yeah. Give me a 5. Okay, how the fuck did you do that? So I read on Forbes.
Yep.
I love, so you know how Forbes interviews are really serious?
Yeah.
And I feel like I would be nervous. They ask you really technical questions.
Yeah.
And when you were answering, they asked, you know, how did you get this line started? And you were like, well, we printed some T-shirts and we went to PacSun.
Yeah.
And it was very like, that's
Yeah.
all I did.
Yeah, let's tell the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, I was the same way. Like I was nervous about Forbes because it's just such a like benchmark thing to say you have an article in Forbes, but it's still one of the things I'm like the most proud of, just because once again, it's one of those like never thought moments.
Yeah.
But as far as how I did it, I mean, like I said, that was always my goal, like create something real. Like I was way more entrepreneurial than celebrity guy.
Yeah.
And I saw that the show was my opportunity to do that, to launch that. I had seen my cousin make a lot of money from his sponsors. I had seen Big Black, our other co-star, make a lot of money off of his own kind of merch. And so my goal was like, how can I create a brand that's not drama merch? It's a real brand that stands for something that other people can get behind. Use this show to launch it, and take it from there. Where I got so lucky was I was working on this idea and I was trying to figure out how to kind of integrate it into the show and how to like do this the right way. And that was right around the same time that MTV started putting in their show notes what's drama doing? You know, because I used to be Rob's assistant. And so they knew I wasn't Rob's assistant anymore, but I was still around. So it's like, well, what's his like story? Like, why is he around? And
pressure.
Yeah, like what the hell is he doing here? And so it worked perfectly with the storyline and my idea. And we did an episode where I had to prove that I was young and reckless by jumping out of a 6-story building.
This is the one I wanted to talk about.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay, so who made you do that?
Well, my cousin.
What a dick.
Yeah,
I love it.
yeah. But that was the whole idea for the episode. So the episode was Drama's launching this clothing brand. It's called Young and Reckless. Let's figure out how to make that funny. And that's what they did so well, right?
Yeah.
It was like, take something real and like, how do you make it really fun to watch?
Yeah.
So we went down in San Pedro to this 6-story like loading dock just out to nothing thing, and they had a big airbag set up like where the ones that the stuntmen jump into.
Oh my God.
And it said on the 3rd floor I think on the 4th it said young and regular. On the 5th it said young and risky, and on the 6th it said young and reckless. And so the storyline was whichever one you jump out of, that's the name you can have.
Stop.
And if you don't do it, then I forget, like Chanel or somebody else on the show gets to take the brand.
Oh my God. No pressure.
No pressure.
How do you prepare yourself to jump out? Did they give you any kind of safety tips or like warn you? Okay, that's nice
Yes, but
of
the
them.
safety
Thank you,
tips are
MTV.
worse.
Why?
Because here's what would happen. Some days, not all days, not by any means all days, you show up and there's like a full safety crew that MTV makes you have there in case someone dies, right? And so not only is there like, you show up and there's ambulances and stretchers and everything ready as you're walking in.
I'm so nervous hearing that.
Ridiculous.
I would be so scared.
Yes. And then here's the scary part. Then you have a safety meeting where MTV appoints like a safety guy for this day of shooting, and you all stand around in a circle with the crew and the cast and everyone, and it's instructions on exactly what to do if the worst case scenario happens. So it's literally like, okay, if Drama jumps out of this building and completely misses the airbag and snaps himself in half, please, cameramen, don't run in first. Let the medics go first. Then Rob, please hold back.
So they get it on film and it looks good?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, not
that would be cool.
So there's not everyone running in a panic and getting in the way of the EMTs.
Oh.
So they just run through the scenario of your worst nightmare, right? And then you go up to the 6th floor and look over the thing. The problem is there's cameras, there's audio guys, there's all this stuff. It's kind of like you're legitimately scared out of your mind, but this is all around you. And you're like, okay, well, I know that all these people are waiting on me. And I know that there's a whole episode that relies on this being the ending. And so you kind of have no choice,
So
but it's those...
Go for it.
To me, the warning is scarier than actually doing it.
That actually sounds terrifying. The warning already gives me anxiety.
Yeah, and then here's the other thing.
I wouldn't do it.
You have to jump, and because you're coming from 6 stories, you have to land as perfectly flat as possible.
Mm-hmm.
If you land too, like, sitting down, you're going to blow your back out. And obviously, if you rotate too far backwards, you're going to, like, break your neck. So it's one of those, like, if you land perfectly flat, it distributes the weight, and you're all safe. If not, you're screwed.
So you kind of have to free fall.
So you jump and try to, like, land perfectly flat, like, forwards.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was scary as hell. That might have been my first like big scary one.
I actually find that kind of beautiful and metaphoric though, because you are young and reckless. Like that is your brand.
Yeah.
It seems like when it's come to your dreams, you've really had to you've taken on some physical stuff.
Yeah.
That's kind of beautiful.
Yeah, I think that's important because I think I just put out a little video about it the other day. I took my staff skydiving like 2 weeks ago.
Oh my God.
And it comes off so cheesy, or so easy to sound cheesy, but there's something about doing having a physical like breakthrough, pushing yourself past a boundary that you just didn't think your body or whatever could do.
Yeah.
That really does apply to your mind and like what you mentally think that you're capable of and not,
Yeah.
And I think there's something about going through those experiences where you're like, man, I can literally do anything.
It's funny when I think about my life and modeling and all of that stuff. I think about the pain I've endured between laser hair removal and bleaching my hair and like grueling workouts and even Botox needles, because that shit sometimes is really painful.
I get it.
I've laser beamed the most sensitive parts of my body. And I'm not lying to you, it's hard.
It seems hard. Did you have a safety meeting?
Basically,
Listen, Lindsey's going to be doing laser kind of down in this area. Everyone just stay away.
I needed to have more safety meetings. I had this crazy... this super wild Russian lady too, and she was, because Russians they can tolerate pain, I feel,
Yeah,
because they're kind of trained to be tougher than Americans.
Yep.
And so she she's laser beaming me and I'm dying. And she goes, if you want, I can crank it up for you. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Why would she crank it up?
Get me out of here now. Yeah, I don't know.
She felt like maybe you weren't getting enough pain, or like it wasn't fast
She's
enough?
like, oh, we can, it'll speed up the process of the hair removal. I went twice and I left. It's not worth it. Maybe my dream isn't worth it to me.
Don't say that.
Have you ever lasered your hair, buddy? Fuck.
I haven't. But I went one time with an ex-girlfriend, and it just looked so brutal. Like it looked, I mean, I don't have any hair on me that I'm that concerned about.
Yeah.
And like it looked,
lucky.
It looked brutal.
It truly is.
Yeah. Well, guess what? We have a mutual respect for each other.
Thank you.
And the pain that we've endured.
I do. I'm so sorry that you had to endure all that stress and anxiety.
Yeah. But yours is probably a lot more like in small doses.
Yeah. Mine's definitely small doses.
Yeah.
Coma is pretty big.
Yeah.
And then move on.
Yeah, but then it's over for years. You have like Chinese water torture.
That's
like, hey, hair
true.
bleaching, laser removal, just constant small
every
pain.
week.
Yeah.
Eyebrow threading too.
Ugh,
Have
I
you
heard
ever
that's
had your eyebrows
terrible.
They've made you do painful stuff on the show though.
They waxed my chest.
How's that?
It hurt.
Yeah.
It hurt.
That could be worse.
Yeah,
At least the
hurt.
chest is a tough part of your body.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I mean that hurt, but yeah, I don't think it's not the same as like your real sensitive parts.
Yeah, he's talking about the vag.
Yeah, there's no way.
Let's just call it like it is.
Talking about the vag, guys. There's no way. That's a whole different ball game, I think, than your chest.
I appreciate that you can acknowledge that for us.
I do.
So now you've got this major brand. How long was the show on? How many seasons?
Oh man, so Robin Big was 3.
Okay.
And then we did Fantasy Factory.
Okay.
That was the other one, which was...
I feel like people still called that Robin Big.
I think they did.
I definitely did.
Yeah, because Robin Big was like legendary. Fantasy Factory was really good, but Robin Big was like irreplaceable, legendary moment. Fantasy Factory, I think we did 8. We did a lot.
That's a long time. And after the 3 years, so that's 11 years of
No,
filming?
so 3 seasons. So Robin Big's total lifespan was probably of actual filming should have only been like a year and a half, no more than 2 years. Because seasons aren't really by any calendar. It's just when they buy them.
Yeah.
And then Fantasy Factory was probably like 6 years.
That's a long time. That's a pretty
time.
lengthy career. So you left the show with an amazing brand.
Yeah.
What is that brand like now?
So the brand is amazing now. We've had a lot of like ups and downs. Obviously, we launched off the show, then we kind of like went and just marketed it on like Superpower. We did like back when Meek Mill was like the hot new artist, we did a deal with him. We had every athlete, everyone wearing our stuff because it was so important to me not to be cheesy reality show merch.
Yeah.
And so we then we took it to PacSun, had a lot of success there. Still have a great business with PacSun, but then Macy's, Tilly's, Dillard's, all these things, right? Then what happened was about 2 years ago, retail is just in a very bad spot, right?
It's all different now.
It's all different now. And so I think 2 years ago was when it kind of hit us as like, whoa, we got to make a big move here. And it was rough because you've put all of your work into like flying to these different retailers, taking them out to dinner, begging them to try your brand. They try it, it works. Yay. And so it's like years of building up this brand in retail, and then all of a sudden you need a completely different strategy. And so retail isn't like dead for us, but it's having a lot of trouble, and that affects us heavily. They're not making as big of orders as they used to. Some retailers filed for bankruptcy and had to send stuff back, and it causes quite a big nightmare. So that meant like sitting and talking to people who I'd become really good friends with, that my marketing people and people that I worked with, and having to let them go for no reason other than outside. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like they
the
didn't
world
do
has
anything.
changed.
Well, we didn't do anything, but the world changed.
Yeah.
So you're firing your friends, you're restructuring kind of how you do your business. Like I always say, I replaced my sales team with like a content team, because the sales team you don't need anymore. You don't need people flying around talking to Macy's. And I built, we just restructured, built an e-com team, built a content team, and have just really focused in the last couple years on e-commerce. And now, we had a couple years that were like flat, but now we're back to growing and back to bigger than we've ever been.
Yes. Ooh, I love a happy ending.
Yeah, no, very happy.
That's really good. And when I think about your brand has never been one of those in your face, have to buy it. Like you're really big on having people in the brand who match it.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, I don't know, you're not like begging people to buy your shit. You just like, here's my cool shit.
Yeah. And
that it's cool. So I imagine turning it over and being like Instagram content and social media content. It's hard not to make content it's sales driven cheesy. Like it's hard to
so
sell
hard.
something online
Yeah.
and make it seem like you didn't care, because you fucking care if you have to make all the content you make like it's clear you care. How do you deal with that? I have issues with that.
Yeah, it's so hard.
Not on that scale.
But like what? Tell me yours.
Seriously, anything I sell, I feel like just anything you sell, and even the way the FCC, like you're supposed to be very in your face about what is an ad and what isn't an ad. So it's not this platform where you're allowed to kind of be coy with selling stuff. You kind of have to be like, yeah, buy this shit.
Yeah, I agree. And so for me, here's the interesting thing for me is like I don't have any FCC issues because it's my thing,
exactly.
right?
Yeah, I know.
And I'm just saying, but the reason why that becomes my own little struggle is because now
it's all on your back.
No, I wouldn't say that. It's just that if I'm posting all day, young and reckless, young and reckless, young and reckless, I'm actually just posting my life and what I'm passionate about, but it looks like all I'm saying is buy this, buy this, buy this. So now, like, what I've tried to get better at in the last couple of years is how do you show, like, you know, a more fun, diverse side of what you're doing and try to actually give back some value. That's why I started a podcast and stuff like that. Because if you're just saying, hey, our new jeans dropped today or our new this dropped today, then you just look like a crappy salesman.
Yeah.
And it's tough. And I think as far as the branding side goes, I constantly try to find people that are going to fit the brand. The problem is the brand's called Young and Reckless. So on one hand, that's really good because it's so obvious. But the fact that it's so obvious is bad because in some ways, because if you have the wrong person in it, it sticks out from a million miles away. Like, oh, that person is not in any way young and reckless.
Right. Especially fans of the brand who have followed you since Robin Big.
Yeah.
Because they know what you're about. You know?
They do. And they've known for like 9 years now. And like, you can't lie to them. And I think I always just try to remind myself to play the long game. Like if you play the longer game and really build a connection with your followers and your fans and show them what you're doing and only do projects that really give back to what the brand stands for, in the end, it pays off. It's just so tempting to go for the quick sale. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's the like struggle.
I imagine too, because you've grown from selling in retail stores to now you have to tackle the internet space. The thing with attaching a celebrity to your brand now, I don't know if you know what I'm thinking already, but it's so scary because when a celebrity makes a messed up comment, a nasty tweet, they like a comment of a nasty person. Whenever they do something that may seem slight that turns huge, they turn to you, the sponsor or the person they're attached to, and they go, oh, Young and Reckless, this is who represents you. What does that say about you? We're going to boycott all your shit because Meek Mill said one thing. Like the pressure to choose the right person.
Yeah, it's insane. That part of it is insane.
Hard.
And this other thing, we deal with a lot of like young, obviously young people when it comes to brand ambassadors, right? Young people because for obvious reasons. Rappers because that's like sort of rap and that culture is heavily entwined into not only my life, but what the brand stands for, right?
Yeah.
And so all of these new young rappers have some sort of charge.
They're getting kidnapped every other day. They're like getting
weird...
kidnapped, staging kidnaps, murders.
And they all have like domestic abuse or like sexual assault charges. They all have them. It's like part of the thing now. And it's like,
and they sing suicidal songs, which
yeah. So I'm not saying, and I'm not judging any of those guys, obviously, but I'm just saying like there's so much of that now that it's hard to, I had a situation recently where I had a project all lined up, ready to go, and had the retailer ready. And just before we signed the deal and did this really big project, they found something in his past that they're like, we don't want to risk people picketing outside of our stores. So we're not even going to co-sign. So I had to unravel the whole thing because of something from years ago, but it's a weird time for that stuff.
It's incredibly stressful. And I feel like any major brand, it's impossible to escape because some of the most wholesome seeming people or the people with a clean background are one step away from saying the wrong thing or doing the wrong thing.
Yeah, and it's going to be found and exposed. Yeah.
It'll make you wish you were at a simpler time, like cow watching in Ohio.
I just wonder what that cow's doing now.
Yeah, every time shit hits the fan. Here's that cow.
Let's go back to the farm.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I feel like it's the time in the show where I should pull out the notebook.
Pull out the notebook.
I have this little green notebook where I write all my notes.
It's so good.
Isn't
it looks like real, like I said, like homework. Or like I picture you last night, like before bed, being like, okay, I'm just wondering, what are the cows like? When were you born?
It actually says, dear drama, where is your dream vacation?
Where is your, does it say that?
What? No. What is your sign?
Sagittarius.
No, it does say childhood life.
Yep.
Don't laugh at me. No. Oh my God. You know what game I love to play actually with my guests?
What?
Well, I go stalk your Twitter feed.
Yeah.
And I see who follows you that I follow.
Yeah.
Like who's mutual.
Is there anyone on mine? Riff Raff?
Riff Raff follows you.
Okay.
Polly D follows you.
Okay.
And Polly D follows 34,000 people. I thought it was cool, and now I'm like,
It's not cool. Nope, takes the value out of it. And I've never
Thought
even
he
met
liked
Pauly
me.
D.
Really?
No, like we have mutual friends, but I think he's just on a following spree. He's
That's-
just one of those like follow everyone guy.
That's fucking hurtful.
Yeah.
I really thought we
tighten
had
it up.
something. Yeah.
Come on.
I thought we had something, but 34,000 other people do.
Ridiculous.
No. Oh my God. I did write this in. Okay. So what would Robin Big fans be super surprised to know?
Oh man, I don't know why I'm having trouble on that one.
Because it's a good question in my green notebook. That's why.
I feel like we've been like pretty honest about our, like we don't have those like deep, dark secrets.
Not one? What would they be surprised to know? The Chanel West Coast smell like
She was on Fantasy Factory.
amazing.
Oh, you mean so anything?
Anything. Anything that the viewer would be like, oh, wow. Didn't know that. Any weird twig, like something, I don't think twig is a word, but any weird tick, like a character on the show has something about you.
I'm really trying hard, I promise.
Does stumping your
you'd be
guest
maybe
mean I did a
surprised
good
to
job?
know that I met Chanel West Coast on MySpace.
Oh my God.
That's how she came into our world. She had a MySpace music page because she is a rapper.
You met her?
I met her.
I didn't know that.
I brought her in.
I thought it was for sure a Rob thing, and that I didn't actually know how he met her, but I thought it was.
I'll
for
tell
sure
you the
a Rob
story.
thing.
So
Yes,
here's
tell me the
yes,
story.
I got
Duh.
it. Okay, so the story is she hit me up on MySpace. At the time, I was wanting to be a music producer.
Stop.
I will not stop. I was Drama Beats was my alter ego.
I like that.
Thought I was going to be Scott Storch. So she
yeah.
hit me up wanting to do music together. And I looked at her page and I'm like, oh my God, this is insane. This like young blonde girl from the Valley is like rapping like she's a gangster from Compton.
Badass.
And so we invited her over one night just to meet her and see what was going on. And she drank with us at my brother's house and just rapped all night long. And so at the time I was staying at Rob's house and I went back to the house and I said, man, we just met this girl off MySpace, whatever. Like this is so crazy. Like you're going to love, because he loves like characters like that, right? And I was like, and he's like, invite her over tomorrow. So she came over, did the same thing at his house, rapping. And then as soon as she left, he was like, she's going to be my rapping receptionist. I'm going to make her rap to every guest that comes into the Fantasy Factory.
Oh my God,
and that's where she came from.
I had no idea. So
Yeah.
you discovered Chanel West Coast.
I have an eye for talent.
That's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
I'm so impressed. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm really glad I asked that question because
good.
I
I'm
had
glad
no
I got
idea.
one.
I thought for sure she was a friend of Rob's or someone he discovered.
Yeah, no.
That's
no.
all
MySpace
you.
music.
Does she give you 10% now of everything she makes?
I
Because you
really
kind
wish
of.
I would have worked that out earlier.
You really
on.
should have
Yeah.
worked that out, business guy. What the hell?
I know, because she's still on Ridiculousness doing well for herself.
God, and that could have been. You could have Kris Jennered that situation.
Darn it.
Yeah. And my last question on my beautiful green notebook is, who's your favorite hot girl online? Do you have a girlfriend?
I do.
Okay.
But I
so
can
maybe
still
I don't
say who
want
my
you to get in
favorite-
trouble.
No, I wouldn't get in
Okay.
trouble.
This is a fun question.
You want to know who? Oh man, why am I so bad at this? You want to know who does it have to be like an Instagram like type?
I would really like it if it was a super hot girl, but you can tell the truth.
Like a super hot Instagram model?
Yeah. This is a fun question.
Man, I'm doing bad at these.
Does that mean I ask really profound
No.
questions?
Yes.
Yeah, let's
That's
keep
what
it
meant.
positive.
Yeah.
I ask amazing shit.
Who's your favorite?
Myself.
Great answer.
Duh. No, I love like Emily Sears. I like blondes because I'm blonde.
Yeah.
I like everyone though. Anna Cherie, super hot, brunette.
She's great.
Ariane Celeste,
Love
my
her.
girl,
We've
so
known
hot.
her for so. I love her.
I love
She's a
Ariane.
great person. Can I say Ariane?
Yeah, for sure.
I'm choosing Ariane.
Yes, I love Ariane.
Incredible. I just love her. She's great.
I love her too. She's so confident and cute and one of my favorites.
And she's been killing it for so long.
Yes.
Like she's been like, I remember like Robin Big Days. I feel like we were like, oh no, Ariane.
And she was doing Girl Code.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she was blowing up for a long time. I'm
Yeah,
really
talk
impressed by
about
her.
longevity, Ariane. Good work.
You have too, though.
Well, yeah, but I don't. When you're trying to be hot, like staying hot for that long.
Dudes already have it in the bag.
Yeah, but I feel like dudes kind of get better as they get older. Until
Women
maybe
do
like
too.
50.
That's the problem. Women do too, and now everyone's gonna learn that in my lifetime. I'm gonna let you know. Women get hotter, more interesting,
When do you peak?
more fun. We never peak.
Okay, but listen.
We get better and better.
When do men peak?
Never. We're all going to keep, I say we rewrite the whole ages shit and we go, like, we're just getting better, more interesting, more stories, less angry. We're less likely to FRF as we get older.
FRF, yeah.
Hashtag
well, hopefully
FRF.
one of the Fs, right? There's nothing wrong with one of the Fs.
Oh, yeah. I'm
it's
sorry.
the other F that's
I'm
a
sorry.
problem.
We do want F a lot better.
Or get a good night's sleep.
Beautiful. Yeah. So anyway, where is your future going? Let me end this.
Hopefully just hotter and more interesting.
Okay.
No, I'm kidding. I think that so here's what's happened is like I've learned a lot about business from going through it. I've also learned a lot about like content from going through it. And that's what I'm starting to kind of merge a little bit now, which is like doing my podcast, interviewing successful entrepreneurs and stuff like that. But the real goal there is to give information back to young people who are currently like cow watching, like how I was, because I want that person to say something that they heard on my podcast or whatever, spark them to go make a change or do something better.
Yeah.
I think that like longer term, I'd like to always be involved in like businesses and startups. And I think it's a really cool phase of business, like trying to figure out where are we going to sell this? How are we going to sell it? Whatever. And then doing a lot of, media and content to keep like spreading that message and giving any tips or anything that I know to other people. Cause I know how it was so valuable for me. Like when I was 18 years old and I moved to LA and I just started soaking in everyone's information. I didn't go to college. I didn't do any of that stuff. I learned just from seeing it was possible by relating to the people and then asking them a trillion questions and then going and making a bunch of mistakes. And so if on any level I can contribute to young people, like taking that leap that they didn't think they were capable of, I would be very happy with my life if that's what it looked like when I was like 80.
That's a beautiful way to send it full circle.
Thank you.
I like that. Impact to the camera.
That's my goal. Hopefully that's what it looks like.
Yeah, no, I think that's a beautiful message. And I have to ask, just because while you were telling me, you were describing your future in business, because I'm really curious, have you ever considered what 3D printing may do for your business? I'm fascinated by 3D printing.
I have, and the scary thing is it could kill it.
Yeah.
Like that's what it could do for my business. So I think it either Young and Reckless is like as a clothing company is non-existent because 3D printing works in that way.
Yeah.
Or it just doesn't work out kind of like how, well, I don't know. It's a bigger technology, but I always compare things to like 3D TV. Remember when everyone was selling 3D TVs?
Maybe.
And every like Samsung, everything had 3D capabilities. You had to put the goggles on, but nobody cared. It's also kind of what happened to VR. I think VR is going to find a home.
Yeah, it is a VR thing.
But you always
VR
see it. Yeah, they thought it'd be huge by now.
Yeah.
And nobody cares at all. It's just the thing that the weird guy's trying on at Best Buy, right?
That's absolutely true.
So hopefully 3D printing never makes it to the place where my customers can have a printer in their house and be printing their own clothing. That's
a beautiful way to hope that 3D printing works out. I like it too.
Yeah.
Because I would be really sad to see brick and mortars go, and who wants to download shoes? It ruins the experience.
Well, yeah, and I don't want to sound like old guy, but like you don't want to just be in your house on your VR, 3D printing a T-shirt so that you can Postmates your food and
so Black Mirror.
You know what I'm saying?
It's
like,
absolutely that episode of Black Mirror.
Yeah, it 100% is, and I don't. It doesn't seem fun. But that being said, if that is what starts to happen, we will adjust, and there'll be Young and Reckless 3D printers for sale or something. I don't know. Yes. We'll find a way.
Perfect. Young and Reckless for life, everyone. I want to say thank you for coming on my show.
Thank you for having me. This is great.
I'm going to go follow Young and Reckless. I'm going to like all your stuff.
Yeah. Do you follow me?
I will.
Okay. Well,
I haven't. I wanted to make sure I liked you, but I do. No, you're really
amazing.
fun. Yeah. You've been a really cool guest.
Great. Thank
Have
you
a great day.
so much.
How do I end this? No, thank you everyone for listening to another episode of Eyes Up Here. I'm at the Focus TV Networks on film. I'll tell you where you can watch this because I'm going to figure it out in 5 minutes. Yeah. But thank you so much for listening. Rate and subscribe.